Hey ladies. All right. When I was a young woman, I wish that I had had someone to tell me that I could take better care of myself and my girl parts. Nobody ever did. And I look back now and think, oh, some of the infections and things I subjected myself to just by not knowing how to take care of my very sensitive parts were really kind of scary. Ladies, when you go through your period and you start to become sexually active, it's critical that you take good care of yourself before, during, and after sex. Number one, think about the lubricant that you're using. Now I know there are a lot of fancy lubes out there. That's fine, you can experiment and play, but if you're like me and your body is super sensitive, it's very possible that they may sting when you get those vaginal tears. I like a brand called Vagisil. Remember, Vagisil also makes other things like yeast infection products, but Vagisil has a wonderful lubricant that's terrific for sensitive skin. It's the only kind I use. The other thing I love about Vagisil is it doesn't get tacky and sticky during sex. I need a lot of lubricant, I'll just be straight up with you, and I reuse this often during our play times, but it never ever feels sticky. Some of the really fancy lubricants can start to feel like paste, and that's pretty not sexy. So, number one, good lubricant. Always use lube. And if you're ashamed to do it, that may tell you you're probably with the wrong partner. Most women need lubrication. It's not a downfall. It's not a personal failing. It's just a part of the way your body works, especially if you're with a guy who challenges you size-wise. So, use the lubricant. Number two, I'm going to bring it up. Here it is, the douche. Now, this is an example of a portable or a disposable douche. You can also buy full-time douches, you know, the kind that have a big bag attached. I like to use these because I think they're more sanitary. You don't have them for years and years. But I'm going to tell you straight up that this is a douche that I wash and reuse. Now, if you think that's gross, all you got to do is think about any other product that you use on your body over and over, like a sex toy, and you realize it really does work just fine to clean things off with a proper kind of soap and reuse. Here's what I do. When I buy these, I buy the simple vinegar and water kind, and I immediately open it up and dump it out. My body does not like vinegar, but I also don't use perfumes in my douches. All I use is plain old water. Now, the trick to a healthy douche is just use water, but use it right after sex. So when you're done cuddling or you're done with all your little sweet pillow talk and you're either ready to move on with your day or you're about to go to sleep, go into the bathroom and douche. The reason is this guy will help flush out all the lubricant that you used during sex. Of course, it'll flush out the sperm, which doesn't mean it's going to keep you from getting pregnant, but it is going to get all the extra stuff out of your body that tends to drip out. I like to douche right after sex because then I'm not dripping for the next hour and a half. The other thing that I use a douche for is to help prevent yeast infections. When I start to feel a little itchy, not full-blown, but really sensitive to that first little niggle of an itch, I will grab my next tool. It is a little Ziploc with a tea tree oil in it. This is pure tea tree oil, and I keep with it a ½ teaspoon measuring spoon. Now, here's the easy thing that I had to do a lot of math to figure out. I'm going to tell you real quick. All you need for a douche this size is 1/3 teaspoon of tea tree oil. So, I will open up my douche, have him sitting on the counter. I will then take a little tea tree oil and dribble it into here. This is ½ teaspoon, so I don't fill this quite all the way, this little spoon measure I have. I will pour that in there, and then I'll fill the rest with cool water. Now, my body does best with cool water after sex because the tissues tend to be really swollen and abraded. So I will do kind of a cooler water, not cold ever, but cool. And then I simply have the tea tree oil and the water in there, and I put the cap on, and then I just use it like a normal douche. Now, I don't usually use tea tree right after sex. That comment about the cool water was for a regular water rinsing douche after sex. But tea tree is something I use in between sex times if I'm starting to feel a yeast infection coming on. I hope you've enjoyed our time together today, ladies. Subscribe to my channel. Please share with a friend this important information about you and your body, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.